Well, it's another day, getting things started. Went outside to the garage, or should I say the shed, grabbed the tote, start putting a bunch of parts in. Because the floor of the Jeep, the back of the Jeep is littered with parts. Some of them I need, some of them I don't need, and I really need to start getting that organized. And if you're picking up what I'm laying down, this is what I mean. Tons of crap. Even on the passenger side. This is the tub I use to wash my gold mats out. See a piece of gold right there, little flower gold. Little flower gold all over. Another piece right there. Not enough to clean out and worry about though. Let's start emptying everything out that I don't need. Rubber grommets. O2 scanners, I could probably keep. How many O2 scanners do I need? Jesus, how many did I have in there? That's the winch controls, that could stay. Smitty built tire repair, that can stay. It's funny, this bag here says rad bolts. I already got the rad bolted up. I got this side. What's in the bag? Paintbrushes, all sorted grommets I'm going to use to run some wire through. This is part of the OR Fab tire carrier. I'm going to do some modifications to that too. I don't like the way the spare tire is set up, so I'm going to fix that up. This is a vent. I still haven't got any vents ran on the transfer case or transmission yet. That's very important. I got to do that. The back is where all the hoard is, all the extra stuff. Lots of treasure in this box. I need these clamps. Tubing bender I'm gonna need. Trailer plug adapter. These are exhaust parts, which I thought I was gonna need and ended up not needing. Exhaust tape. I've not come across the differential bolts yet, but I did have a bag that said transfer case. I think the bolts for the drive shaft, would it be these ones? I have a feeling it is these ones. I better put them inside the Jeep. There's 8 of them, lines up. And this tub's almost filled up. Some more header wrap, air intake parts, pre-filter that didn't fit. What I need to do is start bleeding the brakes off so I can get the drive shaft attached and bring us closer to driving. First thing I'm going to do is grab this container of PB Blaster and I'm going to spray that on the bleeder screws, let it sit for a bit before we attempt to bust them free. That looks pretty corroded. Let that settle in there. We're starting to come down now. You can see it. There we go. We're starting to bleed. Same with the front one. I am going to crack it open, but I know I just had it open not too long ago, so I was gonna throw that on there. Crack her open good. I already see some oil starting to come down, but gonna crack up some vacuum. There we go. It's taken a while. Then all of a sudden she burped. Now we got a good vacuum pull on there. You can see when you start pulling a vacuum. I need to get lots of air out of there. Well, that was another quick and dirty project finished. Getting closer. Getting closer. Since I'm going to be doing the Raptor liner again, I'm having second thoughts about this. Because I know I tack welded it in because I want it to pop. but I don't like the idea that you could see them. Now, well, I guess you could see them on the front one too, but I put like a seam sealer in there and then wrapped it lined over top of it. I don't know, fuck it, I'll just leave it. I don't want to create any more work if I don't have to. Start it up, because I should have brakes now and not have the pedal drop to the floor. There we go. Nice and tight now. Yes, sir. Get that drive shaft on and be almost ready to be mobile. Still gotta deal with a lot of that wiring underneath the hood yet, but getting closer, getting closer. Look at this bullshit going down. Friggin' snow. Hello, Mr. Toms. What are you doing? It's snowing out. Does that mean we're gonna cuddle? Does it? Does it mean we're gonna cuddle? I know. Life's tough for you. It is. Okay, what you guys just seen is I printed off these breathers, like differential breathers, transfer case, transmission, 3D print, because when you're out of work and you got the tools, you might as well be crafting instead of spending money you don't need. However, this was printed off for a 1/4 inch line, which I thought, because I did a Google search and that's what people were saying was for the Jeep, but apparently that's a fucking lie, because this is a breather right here, and it's, well, I guess you could clamp and work, but it's too small. And I got new ones printing that are 2 millimeters bigger. If you're picking up what I'm laying down. Are you speaking moistly to me? Can't believe fucking Zoolander said that. Speaking moistly. Holy, shut the fuck up. Want to go underneath. Maybe try to clean up a little bit. Sweep underneath and get ready to start pulling her off the jack stand. I'll have to make a run tomorrow. Get some new hose. New breathers will be printed up. The one for the front diff is dragging on the ground. I need to know if the 4L60 is gonna run off a 1/4 inch line, or I don't even know what size this is. Not sure. I have to figure that out yet. So underneath, I found the vent tube for the transfer case. But where is it for the 4L60? So I found the breather up top. It's pretty much right in the center of the transmission. I can get away with using a 1/4 inch line. So one of those breathers I printed off will work, luckily. Well, so far I've been pretty unproductive. It's a beautiful day outside, but had to adjust the camera. Had to spend it doing things I'd rather not be doing. I had to go see the accountant. Tax season, and fuck, that took up a good chunk of my afternoon. I could have been inside the garage, and tomorrow's supposed to be a shit show, and there's a shit show brewing, and I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. And the shit show I'm talking about is hooking up the drive shaft underneath to the Dana 35 since I did the LS swap. It's not quite going to go as planned without some modifications. But moving on, been 3D printing up a Storm. I got 1/4 inch, 5/16, and 3/8 breathers. So I picked up some spiral wrap to start wrapping some parts that are rubbing. Picked up a couple of vent lines for right now. It's time to get things rolling. These are the type of projects I'm working on that takes forever. Had to weld a little extension on there because it doesn't quite fit up properly, but that's a pretty easy fix. So I still got the breather for the front differential. And the funny story about that is that way back in the day, when I first built this Jeep, I was going on a trip. And when I got to where I was going, I looked underneath my Jeep and this hose is hanging down. And I'm like, what the heck is this? What is hanging down from my Jeep? I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, what the heck is this rubber hose? Like, did my tranny hose blow off and I don't have any oil? But I thought, well, if that was the case, I wouldn't be able to drive. But once I traced it down, it turned out to be the differential breather. It's a long time ago I bought a big bag of these. So now they're gonna come in handy. Even though some of them are kind of like too big, but make them work. Back in the old days, I would be doing all that by hand, taking forever. Power tools sure make things a heck of a lot easier, that's for sure. Get yourself in there. What is your malfunction? Got the hose. I gotta get with a clamp and a ratchet. As you can see, there's not a lot of room up there between the tunnel and the vacuum line. I should have actually put that in when the shifter was out. I wasn't really thinking. Well, it wasn't horrible, but we got better access on this side to reach up and in. And then the transmission, I just attach it to my dipstick rod there. Should work, keep her out of the water. For the transfer case, I'm just going to run it down pretty much the same place where the rear drive shaft one is going. So the transfer case, I haven't tied it up yet, just gonna run along the frame and then up to where the gas tank filler is. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the rear drive shaft. It's not bolted up, but with a double card on, your pinion needs to go in a straight line. So you can see I'm dipping down and then I'm kind of going like that. With a double card on, you can't have that. I have to come a few degrees up to bring this more straight. Now, this is where the pain in the ass is going to come in. So I installed rear adjustables a long time ago, but how seized are those going to be? And I have a non-adjustable rear track bar. I'm going to have to pop one end out when I do this and then see if I have to cut it and re-weld it to make it fit. But that's where I'm looking at with that. So basically, got to loosen all the control arm bolts. I think I lost my light. Yeah, so I have to loosen all the control arm bolts. Try to get this jam nut free. Probably, if I do like 2 threads out, see if I can get my hydraulic ram on this brace and push on there once everything's loose, and then try to tilt her back, and then we'll see. What do you see, Tomcats? Do you see a gill? Do you? What are you so fixed on? Do you see something? I'm not seeing anything, Tomcats, but you're so focused on something. I don't know. What are you doing? Do you see a gill? What? I'm gonna move this OBD connector I've been having outside here forever. I'm gonna run this inside where the transmission hole is. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, following like community pages on Facebook and everything else, the fear and stupidity is real. Blows my mind, to be honest. The world is about 75 million people away from getting affected before this virus has affected 1% of the population. 75 million people more. And you see posts online, you know, people freaking out in the grocery stores, not social distancing. I've seen some areas come up where they have phone lines or online where you could snitch on people who aren't following that. Like, what the fuck? Like, I bought into the fear at first, right? Something new, you know, it's happening so fast, but once I had some time to sit down and start thinking about it, the fucking Kool-Aid is strong. The fucking Kool-Aid is really strong. And people need to settle the fuck down. The world has too many fucking people anyways. So even if 100 million people died, it's not even gonna make a dent in nothing. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind how the stupidity is rolling on. Like, people freaking out in grocery stores, people breaking down emotionally. Like, fuck off already. So now that is finally out of the way. I still gotta find a place to mount it. Not sure where I'm gonna put it though. You know, I might just put it on the side there. Easy access for the OBD connector. We'll see. We shall see. So a girlfriend of mine was in the store last night and she was, you know, picking some things up, doing some shopping. And she's telling me how this guy came in with his daughter, went shopping or whatever, and was freaking out, having a mental breakdown because he couldn't butt into line because he was afraid of his kid catching the coronavirus. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. You know, my response could only be, if you were that fucking concerned about your kid catching COVID in the grocery store, what kind of idiotic fucking parent would take their kid to the fucking store? Right? Give your head a shake, you fucking imbecile, fucking idiotic piece of shit. Over. Alright, I just had my little rant. Back to normal. Let's use some of this hose spiral wrap. This shit's expensive. It's a lot of money for what it is. 25 feet? I don't even need 25 feet. If I need to rub, or not rub, I'm going to rub one out later perhaps, but I need to wrap some of the hoses down here for the oil filter that are rubbing, and possibly for a couple of the transmission lines, so to speak. So underneath, this is what I call double-edged sword. I put the protection on the bottom of the oil lines because with the road, with debris, rocks and stuff, to help protect the hose. Now, this could come back to bite me in the ass too. With gravel and stuff getting inside here will help break down the hose quicker perhaps. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. One of the things I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to replace these lines with a metal braided line. Be a little bit more stronger, offer more protection, because this is just a hose here. So that's one of the things. And of course up top I got the hose wrap where it points where it's rubbing, and even down there. So I think I got that all covered. I need to make just a quick bracket for this power steering hose. I just drilled and tapped a hole in there for the bracket. Push that bracket on there. Now I don't have to worry about power steering line going into the pulley at the front. So last thing I want to do is, you guys can see I got a couple hose clamps on there. Hose clamps, not really a big fan of them. Got these constant torque clamps that I'm going to replace those with, and then that'll be taken care of. Remember, make sure you don't talk moistly to people, because these are the things I know. Add those to the box of shame, or Save it for the next project, some may say. Because these are the things I know to stop you from speaking moistly. I think. Motherfucking beer time. Just gonna grab a shitty Pilsner because it was shitty projects today. That's why. Alright, shut her down. Time for a fucking greasy old Pilsner. Motherfucking beer time. Last year at this time, I was out camping on the Gold Claim. This year, still fucking snow on the ground and cold. Funny how this coronavirus came about and all of a sudden, climate change, you don't hear about that on the news anymore. I guess that's all taken care of. There's no more climate change because the coronavirus is the new fear to scare people. That's exactly what it is. So I want to thank everybody for watching this video. This is the kind of shit that, you know, is so time consuming as all this little small stuff. And I really want to get into the differential, setting up that pinion angle, but I know that's probably going to end up in the shit show. So I kind of want to do that on a video on its own. And after that, I need to start building a stand for the tube bender and then see if I could operate that manually off my porta power until I get back to work and I can buy a air over hydraulic pump. But we'll see what we can make work. It's like fucking being in Russia right now. I got to do everything with shit I can 3D print or stuff that I have in my garage because I just don't have access anymore to a lot of things I could just easily used to be able to go out and buy because, you know, non-essential. Shut the fuck down. You're not operating. Anyways, let's fucking destroy the world's economy for 0.00036% of the population currently that's infected. That's right. Not even close to 1% of the population in the world is shut the fuck down. Either the governments are lying, what's really going on, or fucking they're trying to pull a fast one, which I don't have a clue what the fuck is. I better put on my tinfoil hat and drink this motherfucking beer. See you in the next video.